Am I in the centre? I don't know. How do you behave on a camera? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm filming a video that I have been meaning to film for like 3 months at least. I don't know. I kept putting it off. I was just not in the mood. I didn't have time. I didn't feel up to it, you know, various different reasons, and I've decided today is the day that I wanted to film it. And as I sat down to film, the weather has gone. So it was fairly sunny and bright earlier today. It's still bright, but it's not sunny. It's like dull, and it's definitely autumn outside now, like officially autumn. I also had a shower today and my hair is still drying, so it's a little bit wet. So if you see bits of wet hair, it's not greasy, it is just damp. So I haven't done a sit down video for a while, so I apologise if this is a little bit rusty and all over the place. Everything about me is chaos normally, so nothing unusual there. But basically I asked on Instagram for some questions and I'm gonna answer them now. I've taken some screenshots wherever they are. So I'm going to start with an easy one, which is how are you doing? And I am really good, thank you. I feel like I'm in a much better place now than I was say 6 months ago, and I think that might be the case for a lot of people just because of the pandemic. It's been such a difficult year for everyone around the world, and I'm not going to sit here and like complain about my life or my situation because I know I'm very lucky. In my own like mental well-being, I'm a lot better now than I was, and yeah, I'm just generally doing pretty good. Like going back to the theatre has been incredible, and that's brought so much joy to my life again. I'm now finding like little bits of joy in everything that I do. Like, I know that sounds really cringe. I'm trying not to take anything for granted that I would have done before, because you realise very quickly how easily things can just disappear. So that's my new like mantra in life, I guess. Do you think you'll go back blonde? Love your brunette hair, by the way. Thank you. I love my brunette hair too. It does need dyeing again because it's gone quite, not light, but like it's not as dark as it was. I can't exactly sit here and say I'll never go blonde. I think at the moment, no. I'm happy with brunette. I do want to dye my hair like ginger, auburn, red, whatever colour you want to call it. Like Wanda's hair. That's like, that colour would be dreamy, but I'm not sure if I'd suit it. So at the moment I'm just going with the basic brunette, but I love it. So I'm kind of happy just being brunette at the moment. I don't think anytime soon I'll go back blonde, just because it's expensive, and I had blonde hair since 2014, so it was like 6.5 years I had that hair, so I think it was due like a change, to be honest. How's the flat and living with Lauren? It's really good, thank you. So we moved in together last November, so it's coming up 11 months, which is crazy that it's almost a year as well. It's weird because it's gone really fast but really slow at the same time, if that makes sense. But it's really good. We really love living together. Obviously it's just a little bit different having to do everything ourselves, but that's not, again, it's not an issue, it's just different. Basically living together during lockdown meant we didn't realise how much money was going towards like the new bills and the rent and the council tax, etc., and the food. We weren't going on big trips, and so we still don't know how like that's gonna be. And so obviously we've been quite lucky that we've been able to save a lot of money and put a lot of money aside, so that when we are able to take bigger trips, it's not gonna feel like such a like oh my god, how much, because we have already put money aside ready for those trips, if that makes sense. But yeah, overall I love living with Lauren. Like, I love it, and I think I can say she loves living with me. How do you afford to go on so many trips pre-COVID? So literally just talked about that. So pre-COVID, if you didn't know, I still lived at home with my family, and although I spent money, like I gave them money to keep like rent, it's not as expensive as actual rent and then bills and everything else on top. I had a lot more disposable income then than I do now, but I very rarely ate takeaways or ate dinner out, and if I did, I'd only buy a main, I'd have water, which means it wouldn't be that expensive. I don't go on loads of big nights out. I don't normally buy loads of stuff. Like, more recently I have treated myself to a lot of more things because I have the money and just because I can. I was never like at the point where I didn't have any money and I was just spending it all on trips. I was just choosing, right, do I want to go on 3 big nights out this month, or do I want to not, and put that money aside for a holiday? And basically that is my luxury, that is my gift to myself, that's what I save for. I also love a bargain, so I'm always looking for bargains and discount codes, and I use like cashback apps. I mean, I could talk about that as a separate video, but if you ever had like any questions I can help. I think it's difficult because everyone earns a different amount of money and everyone deals with their own income differently, and obviously now I'm in a flat and have to pay my own rent and bills and everything, I will have less money available to put into savings, but because of the pandemic I already have a larger amount of savings than normal. I know people use things like Monzo and other places that do stuff like that where they put money into little savings pots for you, and I think that's brilliant. So it's stuff like that, because every little bit does help, and like putting your spare change in like a savings pot, you know, holding off and not buying things or buying things second hand rather than brand new. I started basically, I made a spreadsheet once where I listed everything that I have to pay each month and then figured out what money I then would have left over to spend, and I was looking back at what I was spending my money on and thinking, that's a waste of money, that's a waste of money, I don't need that. Limiting how many like subscription services you're subscribed to, like I only have Netflix and that's it, I don't have Amazon Prime. Lauren has Disney Plus and that's it. She doesn't have anything else. Like, it's just being clever about things. How do you stay positive all the time? So that's such a lovely question, because I am not positive all the time. I'll straight up say that. I can be a miserable cow quite a lot of the time actually. I think I'm positive on camera because I choose when I'm gonna film. So I will only film myself when I'm in a good mood or when I'm having a good health day, because looking back at some of my old vlogs, I think a lot of my like bad moods have sometimes come across in them, which I hate. I think it's just because I was feeling mentally drained and like exhausted, and when you're tired your bad mood comes out. You know what that is like, I'm sure. I try to be positive, but I'm not always positive. I definitely have days where I'm like, oh, nobody likes me, I'm never going to achieve my goals, blah. And that's normal. I always remind myself it's absolutely normal to have days like that, and you have to have days like that. You have to allow yourself to cry and have feelings. I think something also is to remind yourself, and I do this too, I have to remind myself that things that you see on the internet are not real. My Instagram feed is my best photos, my favourite parts of my life. Like, I'm not gonna share the days where I'm rolling in bed like ugh. A lot of these things are orchestrated well, so you think it's real but it's not. And I'm not saying my best self in a certain photo isn't real. That is real, that is one part of me, but it's not my whole life. And so if I remind myself that about me, then I remember that about other people, and then I don't compare myself as much, because it's like, yeah, their life looks incredible and like they're always doing fun things and they're always smiling and they seem to have loads of money and they have gorgeous food, blah blah. And I'm sure that's the case with some huge people on the internet, but like with most normal people that's not the case. You know what I mean? They're only going to share the best parts of their life because that is what Instagram is for, and I have to remind myself of that a lot. I rewatched your Disney vlogs recently and you seem a lot happier / more confident now. Yes, okay, so I think I just briefly touched on that. In my 2017 vlogs particularly, that was like 4.5 years ago. So I'm a whole different person to who I was when I first started my channel. When I first started this channel I was 21, and although I'm an adult, I still have a lot of things to learn, and like even when I'm 40 I'll still have a lot of things to learn. Weird looking back on myself, and I recently watched the 2017 videos and I can see how different I am in terms of confidence, how happy I am, but just how different I am as a person. Like, I just have changed so much, which is good. I don't want to be the old me forever, and in 5 years I'm sure I don't want to be this version of myself. Like, I always want to improve, and I definitely was a bit a bit negative not a lot of the time. Sometimes I got in my own head and there was a lot going on in the background that I'm not necessarily going to talk about now, but like if you watch those videos back there's more to my complaining. Like, it just seems like I'm being negative on things, but I think I was being negative to kind of cover up the fact that I was miserable about something else. Yeah, 2017 was it was a good year, but like not a good year, if that makes sense. And 2018 again was a good year in terms of what I did, but there was just a lot of stuff happening in life and that went on in the background and kind of messed with my head a lot. So I'm definitely a lot happier and I'm a lot more confident in myself now. So the question that I get asked a lot, not just in this Q&A, is when are you going back to Disneyland Paris or Disney in general? I am fingers crossed going back to Disneyland Paris next month for the Halloween season, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Like, it doesn't feel real yet, and I don't think it will feel real until I'm stood on Main Street. We're making the most out of our annual pass because it does run out this year and we're not going to be renewing it. We've just decided not to. We've had a good 2-year run on our annual pass. 2 years, obviously it's been more than 2 years because of the pandemic, but it's a good 2-year extension, whatever you want to call it, of the annual pass, and we're not going to renew it. We've had amazing trips in Disneyland Paris, and obviously I will go back in the future, and a few people have asked when I'm going back if I'll be vlogging, and the answer is yes, I will be vlogging. I don't know how that will go because obviously I haven't been there for ages, and I know what the setup's like, but until I'm there I don't know how I'm gonna like feel. Obviously character meets are gonna be different, which is obviously a huge part of our Disney trips, so I don't know how I'm gonna like go about filming them. Did you go on one of the Disney Magic UK cruises this summer? No, I didn't go on any of the Disney Magic cruises this summer. I personally didn't think the money was worth it for what you got. It looked amazing, but at the same time I've never been on a Disney cruise, so I want to go on one. That's always something I've wanted to do, but I want to go on one when I can go to different places and see different parts of the world. I just thought paying, because it was a lot of money per night, paying that much money to just sort of like going nowhere just wasn't something that I wanted to spend my money on. I wanted to save my money for when I can do other things in the future. So no, I didn't go on any of the Disney cruises. And someone actually asked, do you regret not going on a staycation cruise? And the answer is no. I've seen a few people's vlogs and it looked like it was such a great time, and it was lovely to see people getting back to seeing the characters and just having that Disney magic again. But I definitely don't regret not going on one just because of the amount of money it was. So someone has asked, what do you do for a living? And I feel like I've answered this before, but I'm going to answer this now. So I have an office-based job and I work from home at the moment. I'm going in kind of 1 day a week, trialing that going forward for a little bit. I never say where I work or what sort of area my job is, because of personal safety. I have had a few people in DMs before asking me really uncomfortable questions about my address and where I live and like things like that, and I don't want to be putting something on the internet that they could then find out where I work and, I don't know, potentially follow me. You just don't know. And it's not me being like, oh, I'm too good for you, I don't want to tell you. It's just a personal preference and safety reason. If I said where I worked, you'd be able to find it very easily. If I said the area I worked in, you'd be able to find it really easily. If I don't answer your question, it's not me being rude, I just personally don't feel comfortable telling people on the internet where I work, because work is one part of my life and the internet is another part, and I just want to keep them separate. So I got a lot of questions saying any future Disney plans and any plans for next year. Our August trip from summer 2020 was pushed back to 2021, and now it's been pushed back to 2022. So we do have a big summer trip planned for next summer. I'm really excited about it. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Obviously I don't know what's going to happen between now and then. A lot of things can change. In terms of other plans, there's a trip that has been booked for, when did we book this? Earlier this year, as a, oh, we'll just book it and see what we can do, like we'll put a deposit down and we can move it. Just don't want to say for sure, because I don't want to get my hopes up, because, you know, things are getting cancelled and moved left, right and centre, and there's just no point saying I'm going here until I know 100% that I'm allowed to go, that it's all above board, and that, you know, nothing changes between now and then, because it could literally change at the drop of a hat. I think you'll just find out probably when I'm there or at an airport or wherever I'm using to travel to. Nothing is firmed up because I just don't know. So I do have a lot of exciting things hopefully coming up. So that's kind of all like the life update-y questions, and I'm just gonna like go through some of the, not they're like more generic questions, just more quick fire I suppose. Are you a tea or coffee person? I'm definitely more of a coffee person. I love my iced coffee, like I could drink that all the time. I do like green tea and peppermint tea though. What is the one thing that never fails to cheer you up? If I'm in a sad mood or feeling low or whatever, the one thing that will always cheer me up is putting on one of my comfort movies or TV shows, sitting on the sofa with a blanket and a hot chocolate, ignoring my phone for a couple of hours, because sometimes you need that. I think watching Tangled or Enchanted or Hercules, they always cheer me up. Or films like 13 Going on 30, Notting Hill, About Time, or even a Marvel film, or watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because Jake Peralta just fills my heart with joy. What is your favourite flower? This is a hard one because I think all flowers are beautiful. Is it really generic to say sunflower? Probably is a sunflower though, or a rose, which are both really generic and basic, I know, but they're both so beautiful and I love them so much. What are goals you want to reach before you turn 30? I don't know if I have any, because I don't like to set myself time restricted goals, because then I feel like you might end up setting yourself up for disappointment, like saying I want to own a house by the time I'm 30, or I want to be married. I have like a few things, like one of the things I'd love to do before I turn 30, which I don't know if it would happen, is visit all of the Disney parks, go on a Disney cruise and go to Aulani before I turn 30, which is a big ask because that's very expensive, but I do feel like it is semi-possible. Obviously I turn 27 next year, so I haven't got that much time. I do have like a list of life goals, but they're not like restricted to like turning 30, so they're just until like the end of my life. So what's something that you're looking forward to this winter? I'm just looking forward to seeing loads of musicals that were pushed back because of the pandemic. I'm looking forward to meeting friends that I haven't met before because I've met them via the internet or whatever. I'm looking forward to pumpkin picking, and I'm looking forward to hot chocolates and Christmas. This time of year is my favourite. Like, I love it. It makes me so happy. How do you rank the new Disney Plus shows, as in Loki, WandaVision and The Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Okay, so that's a really hard one. I think WandaVision is my favourite, and then it's The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then it's Loki. And I know that's probably like an unpopular opinion. I loved Loki, I thought it was fantastic. But, spoiler alert, Sylvie and Loki kissing just really ruined it for me. And the last episode was a bit of a... it was kind of a letdown compared to the rest of the season. What are you most excited about returning to Disneyland? I am just excited to hear the music and feel the atmosphere and just feel like I'm back in that bubble again. Seeing the characters, like there's something so joyful about waving at a Disney character. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's so childish. I just love it. Like, it really does just bring me back to being a kid again. I don't think there's anything wrong with enjoying things that you used to love as a kid. I don't think there should be like a time limit of when you have to stop enjoying something. Yeah, I'm just excited about just being there, to be honest. Like, what's the best musical or theatre show that you've seen recently, and which ones do you want to see next? So recently I've seen Waitress again on tour, which I've seen many times. It's one of my favourite musicals ever. I saw Six on tour in Southampton for the first time, which was incredible. And I saw Hairspray on tour in Southampton too, which was amazing. That was the first show back, and wow. I think out of the three, that's hard because Waitress is like very special to me, but probably Six. It was just such a good time. I loved it so much. All the shows that I want to see I already have tickets to. So I want to see Back to the Future, which is the show I'm seeing next. I'm so excited. I want to see Come From Away. I want to see Hamilton. I want to see Anne Juliet. I want to see Everybody's Talking About Jamie. There's a load, but I've got tickets to see all of them, either in the West End or on tour in Southampton. Yeah, just being able to experience live theatre again has been incredible. Every time there's been standing ovations, and I've been like crying because it's been so emotional, and like there's just such a buzz and electricity in the audience, and nothing can replicate that for me. Like, it just sparks so much joy in me, and I can't explain it. What's your travel bucket list? So my travel bucket list is pretty long. Top of my bucket list is Japan. I've always wanted to visit, and it just looks incredible. I also really want to visit Copenhagen and Stockholm, and I want to go to Italy. I'd love to see more of Greece. Australia and New Zealand are on that list. There's too many beautiful places that I would love to visit, and I think that's why in the future I'd love to do a Disney cruise that goes around Europe, so I can see some different places around Europe. Who is your least favourite Marvel character? Probably Hawkeye. I don't really like MCU Clint that much. I just think he's lacking something. Although Hawkeye, the TV show that's coming, when's it coming? November? December? It looks really good. I have high expectations, but it's set in New York at Christmas, and that kind of sounds like dreamy to me. So if you're going to eat at Disneyland Paris, can you show some of the vegan and vegetarian food options? Yes, I can. I'll try my best to film like menus and things when I'm there. Let's be honest, the vegan and vegetarian options at Paris were limited anyway. But yeah, I can definitely show you things. If there's anything like you really want me to show in the vlogs, like just let me know and I can try and include it. Like, without sounding rude, I'm not going to like go out of my way just to film something for content, but if you're like, oh please can you film menus or show this, that and that, whatever, if there's something that you think, oh can you check this out or let us know about, please let me know and I can do my best. So that is all of the questions that I got. Thank you so much if you did ask any, and hopefully the answers are okay. It was really nice to just get back and do another chatty little video with you guys because I have missed it. I feel like I've rambled for absolutely ages, so I do apologise. Hopefully I can cut it down, but hopefully you did enjoy the video. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Let me know if there's anything you really want to see from me anytime soon. Hopefully you'll see a lot more of this face very soon, but I will love you and leave you, and I'll see you I never know how to end them. I'll see you next time. Maybe next time I'll have learned how to end a video, but who knows. Bye!